Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the life and legacy of George Washington, the father of the United States. Known as a war hero, the first president, and a symbol of American independence, Washington's story is one of leadership, sacrifice, and a quiet but tragic end. In just 5 minutes, we'll cover his rise from a Virginia planter to a national icon and the mysterious circumstances of his death. Let's get started. George Washington was born on February 22, 1732, in Westmoreland County, Virginia, to a family of modest wealth. His father, Augustine, a planter, died when George was 11, leaving him under the care of his mother, Mary, and older half-brother, Lawrence. Young George had little formal education but taught himself surveying, a skill that would shape his early career. By 16, he was mapping Virginia's frontier, earning respect for his precision and grit. At 20, Washington's life took a turn when Lawrence died of tuberculosis. George inherited Mount Vernon, the family estate, and took on a role in Virginia's militia. In 1753, at just 21, he was sent by the British governor to warn French forces to leave the Ohio Valley. His daring trek through harsh wilderness sparked the French and Indian War after a skirmish left French soldiers dead. Washington's account of the mission, published widely, made him a colonial celebrity. During the war, Washington served bravely, surviving battles like the disastrous Braddock Expedition in 1755, where he had 4 bullets pierce his coat but emerged unscathed. His courage earned him the rank of colonel, but frustration with British commanders led him to resign in 1758. He returned to Mount Vernon, married Martha Custis, a wealthy widow, in 1759, and settled into life as a planter. By his 30s, he managed thousands of acres and enslaved over 300 people, a complex part of his legacy that reflects the era's moral blind spots. Washington's quiet life didn't last. By the 1770s, tensions with Britain were boiling. Taxes like the Stamp Act and Tea Act fueled colonial anger, and Washington, now a Virginia legislator, opposed British overreach. In 1775, the Second Continental Congress named him commander of the Continental Army. At 43, he faced an impossible task, leading a ragtag army against the world's greatest military power. The Revolutionary War tested Washington's resolve. Early defeats in New York in 1776 nearly crushed the rebellion, but his bold Christmas night crossing of the Delaware River led to a surprise victory at Trenton, boosting morale. Over 8 grueling years, Washington endured brutal winters, like at Valley Forge in 1777, where starvation and disease killed thousands. His leadership held the army together, blending discipline with empathy. In 1781, his strategic brilliance, alongside French allies, trapped British forces at Yorktown, securing the victory that ended the war. After the war, Washington could have seized power, but he resigned his commission in 1783, stunning the world with his commitment to democracy. He returned to Mount Vernon, hoping for a peaceful retirement. But the young nation struggled under the weak Articles of Confederation. In 1787, Washington presided over the Constitutional Convention, shaping a stronger government. In 1789, he was unanimously elected the first president of the United States. As president, Washington served 2 terms from 1789 to 1797, setting precedents that defined the office. He avoided overstepping his powers, established a cabinet, and navigated tensions between rivals like Hamilton and Jefferson. He faced challenges like the Whiskey Rebellion, proving the federal government's authority, and kept the U.S. neutral in European wars. Yet he couldn't fully resolve issues like slavery, freeing his own slaves in his will, but only after his and Martha's deaths. By 1797, Washington was exhausted and retired to Mount Vernon. At 65, he was a national hero, but physically worn. On the night of December 12, 1799, after riding in cold rain, he developed a sore throat. Doctors tried everything, bleeding, purging, even a tracheotomy. But medicine was primitive. On December 14th, Washington died at 67, likely from a throat infection, possibly strep, worsened by blood loss and dehydration. His last words were, "'Tis well." Washington's death shocked the nation. Tributes poured in, with Congress holding a funeral oration and Napoleon declaring 10 days of mourning in France. His will freeing his slaves sparked debate, though only one was freed immediately. Mount Vernon passed to his nephew, and Martha died in 1802. George Washington's legacy is monumental. He led a revolution, shaped a nation, and defined democratic leadership. His flaws, like his ties to slavery, remind us he was human, but his choice to relinquish power set a standard for freedom. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment. What's your favorite Washington story? See you next time.